Hello everyone. Just wanted to send out a quick video about today's this morning's price action actually. So if you're wondering why this sell-off happened, you must have noticed that we were at kind of 52-week high, okay, this morning, and at around, this is ES 5-minute chart, 29.23, and then from there, right from the get-go, we had a big sell-off. Why did it happen? Because today, when the market opened, we were in Venus. Now, Venus, this marked in white. What does that mean? There's a 50% probability of a fresh high or a fresh low. Okay, so basically it's called a debilitation. Okay, when you see a like a non-stop move in one direction actually, and this time or today it happened to be to the downside, and that's why it is. Okay, now we have a good news coming up, which is basically around 11 o'clock, in about 25 minutes from now, my time, 11 o'clock Pacific time, we are transitioning to moon, okay, and which is friendly. Okay, so all right folks, so right now the market is closed, so let's take a look at this bullish window that we talked about, right? How did it fare? You can see that, after like a little bit of retest and this kind of a three swing scenario here, and then it moved up. Okay, moved up and pretty close to that 38.2. So from this morning high to the low, about 38.2% retracement, so that's what we got in this bullish window, which was basically, that bullish window was caused by the moon. Okay, now we have, you can see that as soon as that is done, we have a big flush down, right? A quick flush down from about 29.05 to 29.014 points. Why? It's because we are entering a bearish window. Okay, so futures are going to trade for another hour or so, right? Or probably 15 minutes or so. 2 o'clock my time is when it closes, and by the time we should get to this target here. So let's see, because of this bearish window, which is going to be caused by Mars. Okay, so let's take a look at it. So so this is how so how well it worked out. You can see that we were able to predict this. Okay, and also one more thing, somebody asked me this, so why it didn't start right at the time of market? Because of the character, each planet has its own characteristic. Venus has its own characteristic too. Venus characteristic is typically whatever direction before that, it just takes it up first. It makes a or in other way, it makes a head fake first, and then it goes in the other direction. So that's the characteristic of Venus, and that's exactly, I was able to see this, so the moment we saw this, right, and big push up, and I knew that we have already transitioned Venus. Okay, I knew that it can make a head fake and then a quick move in the other direction, and there you go. That's the debilitation. You can see that these debilitation and exaltation that you see right here, that cannot be taken lightly, because they cause a big trend pretty much the whole day. So when we have a debilitation or exaltation, we get a pretty much the whole day in one direction basically, and that's what we had. So a little bit of chop here, and that's pretty much it, and then transition to bullish window by moon. Okay, and then took it up. Okay, and then handed it over to Mars, which is bearish, and which should push it further down. Okay, so I'm short ES. Okay, and I'll close it out. I'll check the next window, and then I'll close it out if I need to keep it. If I have a continuation of bearish window, I haven't checked it yet, then I'll keep it, otherwise I'll close it out. So this is how well we can predict, folks. So how reliable it is, just as reliable as high tide or a low tide. How well you can predict high tide and low tide a couple of times a day, or full moon and a new moon every month. This is the stock market can be predicted, as well as those events basically happening in the universe. So okay, so I just wanted to put it out there, and I'll close this video, and as soon as this window has transition, and then I'll post it to YouTube. All right folks, the futures are just about to close. So only 4 minutes left, as you can see here. 2 o'clock Pacific or 5 o'clock Eastern, the futures close, and as you can see that we had bearish window identified, right? and as soon as the market closed, and it did its job, people. Okay, so it's basically happened to be a retest of that low there. Okay, so that's how well it worked out. Three windows, and all of them worked out actually. And there was a question as why when we did a transition, right? We had a transition somewhere around 11 o'clock Pacific time, okay, or 2 o'clock Eastern. Why didn't we start seeing this? If moon was bullish today, why didn't we see it here? So it's because of Venus here, okay? Because as I said, Venus has a peculiar characteristic. Okay, Venus causes a head fake move in either direction. Actually, you can see that we had transitioned this around 5:20 a.m. this morning, Pacific time, or 8:20 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, and it just took it up first, and then and then we had a debilitation case here. Okay, a little bit of chop here, but you can see that it just kind of made a head fake to the downside also before it started moving higher. Okay, so Venus always confuses you. Okay, and there was another question as when do we, if Venus was in debilitation, when do we enter the trade? Basically, I entered the trade right here. Okay, so as soon as I saw that first 5 minute, I left that first 5 minutes. First 5 minute engulfed this, and that told me that this was a head fake. Okay, so whatever we saw before the market opened, that was a head fake. Okay, caused by Venus. Okay, then debilitation is going to be debilitation event caused by Venus is going to be to the downside. So so just next candle. So basically 6:35 a.m. right? Entered here, and then stay in. You stay all the way through, and exit here, go long. Okay, went long. There was a little bit of push here. Actually, this is also a three swing. So if you look at it, there is a scenario called three swing scenario, right? So this is basically a three swing, and in fact, there was a kind of a four swing here. So typically you get a three swing, so this is a reversal pattern, so you see a three lower lows, okay, and then it just shoots higher. Okay, typically what happens is that this three swing will give you a head fake. Okay, so head fake, and then it moves and hits this, so if you look at this, this is a, let me mark it here. So that's 55 EMA. Okay, so this is a 55 EMA on my chart. Okay, so this red one here, okay, that's a 55 EMA. So typically after a three swing, it gives you a move back up to that 55 EMA. You can see that it gave you a three swing here, and touched 55. Okay, and then you can see, if you consider this as like a 10-minute or a 30-minute chart, let's see, 30-minute chart, if we have it here, maybe not 30-minute, maybe let's see, 10-minute. Okay, so let's see, 10-minute. Yep, there you go. So 10-minute chart, you can see a three swing here, right? And then it just moved up to that 55 EMA. So typically what happens is that after a three swing, that's a reversal pattern. So that third swing is going to catch some trap, it's going to be a trap usually. Okay, it's going to trap some bears or bulls depending on the direction. In this case, it would have trapped, because many people would have kept their stop here, all right, and would have gone short too. So typically it just causes them to flush out, and then it reverses. Okay, and for us there is no ambiguity, because we know that it's going to be a bullish window and it's going to move up. Okay, and it did move up. Okay, so similarly here as well, so typically that three swing scenario reversal pattern happens when Venus is there. So Venus makes a head fake always. Okay, Venus or Rahu, so like volatile, which causes this volatile move, right? So typically that's how you get a three swing in a reversal pattern, and which guarantees a move up to that 55 EMA. So that's basically that red curve that you see, that's 55 EMA on my chart, and it just moved right up to that 55 EMA. So so if we can kind of move it here. Okay, so that's how well we can predict. And I have prediction from tomorrow too. We have a very interesting window. I just looked at it, very interesting window overnight. Okay, and coming up, and so it's going to be fun tomorrow as well. So okay, so I just wanted to close out this video and send it out to you, so how well we got this direction, so for today. Okay, so all right folks, till the next video, have a wonderful evening. Talk to you later.